Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And a lot to get into in this video, but first, let's just take a look at where we're standing now. So we're getting towards the end of June. We're at June 22nd on the schedule, and speaking of our record, I mean, we're doing okay. I mean, we're 7 games below 500. At least we're not doing as bad as the Braves. They're 20 games under 500. And we're sitting here at 4th in our division. If we look at the standings, let's just look around the league to see who's leading each division. So the Nationals are definitely ahead of our division by 21. They're 21 games over 500 with an 8.5 game lead over the Mets. The Mets have gone off to a pretty good start in real life. The Cubs are leading the NL Central. It looks like the Brewers only 5 games over 500 with the Pirates below at the bottom of that division. The Padres in the NL West, man, they are 27-50. We weren't expecting them to be good anyway, but I mean, they're doing pretty bad so far this year with the Dodgers in first place in the NL West. Rockies 5 games behind. Looking at the NL wild card, we are 8.5 games back of the wild card. We didn't expect to compete at all. We didn't even expect to be this close. We were probably looking at being a bottom 5 team. We are a bottom 5 team in the NL, but I'm talking about in the majors. I mean, we're actually, around 20 or so. I mean, we're in the bottom half, but we're not doing as bad as what we thought we'd do. And I can contribute that partly to the arrival of Aquino and the major league level and Domingo Santana. We're doing pretty good on offense, and our pitching is pretty much, horrible right now. Astros are ahead of the AL West. The Indians ahead of the AL Central by 1 game only over the Twins, and the Yankees are running away with the AL East. 12-game lead over the Red Sox, so it looks like they're dominating as well. So let's just look at some things that I wanted to check out. So let's look at some of our minor leaguers here. If we're looking at some of our pitching here, let's go to the Double-A here. So let's go to Braxton Garrett. He's actually 1-0. He's got a couple of starts under his belt now. He was in the bullpen, but I did move him to the starting rotation. I thought I had him there, but it looks like he's doing pretty good. 115 whip, 1.90 ERA. Diaz actually made the Double-A Southern League All-Star game, which is the only guy to make it from our team, but he's actually leading Double-A in home runs at the halfway point in the season with 12, so that's pretty good to see him there. If you look at his power versus left, it's already gone up +6, and his fieldings has actually gone up only +1 in each one, but he's gone up overall at least 2 so far this year. Hernandez is also another all-star I forgot about. So he's his strikeout per 9 is 81. He has a 116 whip with a 0.72 ERA, 29 strikeouts to 8 walks. I think he's actually rising in our top prospects. I think he's way ahead of schedule. I think he's developing way faster than what I thought he would, but he's pretty good. Another guy to keep your eye on here in our minor league system is Chang. So he's actually gone down since I acquired him. 274 average. He's going up in attributes, but his production has definitely took a dip. Miguel Rojas is back at the major league level, but he's not starting. And also Monty Harrison, let's take a look at him. 248 in AAA. Isn't doing a whole lot, but one guy I want to highlight here is Aquino. He's hitting 306 since being moved up to the MLB level. He's actually doing pretty good, so I actually like what I'm seeing from him. But Lewis Brinson's only hitting 150 at AAA. Remember, we moved him down. He's only hitting 150. I do want to see some more out of him. Until I see that, I'm not going to move him up anytime soon. So let's just look at our statistics here, our player statistics, and how the rest of our guys are doing at the MLB level. So Domingo Santana is doing pretty well, still leading our team in home runs. But looking at average here, if we're looking at the guys that will have the most at bats, so let's start Domingo Santana. He has the highest average for an everyday player, hitting 305. Aquino doesn't have a big enough sample size to really know. He's only got 36 bats under his belt, so he's at 1 point higher than Santana. Then Justin Bour's actually doing pretty good. Has 13 home runs, 46 RBIs. So our 3-4 hitters are actually doing pretty good with 305 and 302. And I believe Aquino, last time I I checked, he had an OPS pretty high, so it's over 1,000 right now, which is pretty good. I mean, hitting at the 2 spot in our lineup, that's pretty good. Leury Garcia is still hitting pretty well, 295. He's not doing too bad, but in the future, I probably want to just keep him around as a utility guy, but he's showing me some things. Maybe he can be an everyday guy, but he doesn't steal bases. That's the thing. He has 2 stolen bases on the year, which is something that I do need at the top of our lineup. I want somebody that can steal bases, and Aquino's actually doing pretty good. I mean, he has no stolen bases right now, but he's showing some speed on the base paths and an arm in the outfield. Martine Prado is actually the surprise of the year. I mean, I knew he would do good. He's a solid baseball player, but I didn't think that he'd be doing this good, and I think his trade value is kind of high right now. JT Realmuto is hitting 274, and if we go down the line, Starlin Castro down here at second base and shortstop, he's hitting 254. Derrick Dietrich off the bench, but Bryant Anderson is only hitting 218, but I don't want to move down 2 top prospects, so I already moved down Lewis Brinson. We don't really have an alternative at third base, so I do just want to get him some work because Prado is going to be gone pretty soon, which is going to make Bryant Anderson our full-time third baseman, so hopefully he starts improving. He does have less at-bats than the other players, but getting him some experience, which is good for the organization, seeing what we can get out of him. So I mean, we're hopping into a 3-game series with the Rockies, and remember, we saw that they were in second place in the NL West, so this might be a tough matchup. Jarlin Garcia, I want to see him in this game do some work because I did move him to the starting rotation after I seen what he did in real life. He went 6 innings, gave up no hits through 6 innings, and they pulled him. So I want to see what he's got in the starting rotation. If we look at him really quickly, if we look at how he's doing, his progression is actually doing pretty good. He's ahead of schedule. He's 79 overall now, beat potential, and I like what he's doing right now. But I mean, his stats can definitely be better, and I hope to see that improvement in his attributes translate to his improvement on the field because he's got a 1.54 whip. So let's hop into this action, man, with this 3-game series versus the Rockies. But before that, let's hop into some highlights from some previous series. One from Baltimore, I believe, and then one from San Francisco. Let's hop into some highlights. So this game, we are going up against Dylan Bundy. He's got a 109 whip, 8-5 on the season. He's having a pretty good year so far. But we're going to start this game out in the top of the 3rd inning in a 1-3 deficit here with the Baltimore Orioles on the road. And here we are starting out this inning with the hit to the right side with Starlin Castro. And Aquino is going to come up, get an inside hanger, but he's going to hit it straight to center field. Adam Jones there to field that one, but Domingo Santana is going to come up in the 3-hole. I love the top of this lineup. The 1, 2, and 3 hitters all have some type of power, and here is Domingo Santana with the hit up the middle, moving guys to the corners with Justin Bour coming to the plate. 3-1 count, and he's gonna smoke one deep to center field, and that one is gonna be out of here into the bullpen for a 3-run homer by Justin Bour for his 11th homer on the season, and that is going to be a 4-3 lead for the Miami Marlins. So back to the top of this lineup here in the 5th inning. Starlin Castro getting a nice bloop hit to right field that time, and he's thinking 2, but then he second guesses it and goes back to first. So Aquino comes up, 3-2 count once again. A slider, he can't hang and handle that one, but Justin Bour is going to come up, another favorable count, 2-1, and he smokes this one to the right center gap, and Starlin Castro is on his horse heading home, and he's going to be safe at home plate, and that's going to be a 5-4 lead as Baltimore came back and tied it up, but we take the lead. So now we move on to the 8th inning here, 3-2 count. Justin Bour just hot this game, and once again drives another one deep to center field, and that's gonna be a home run for his 2nd of the game. This one goes 445 feet, and that's gonna be a missile out of the park off of O'Day out of the bullpen. And Steckenrider is going to come in the 9th inning with a 6-4 lead, and he's going to strike out a batter to get his almost 15th save of the season. What is it? How much does he have there? And I think, man, Justin Bour is having the career year I mean, he's just showing all kinds of power in this first half of the season. So it's pretty good to see him there, because at the fourth hitter, you don't really hit for average, but he's doing it. He's really doing it. So now we fast forward a little bit to the San Francisco Giants series, and Bryant Anderson starts off the inning with the hit up the middle. Then JT Realmuto comes in, and this is the top of the ninth inning, driving in Anderson as he slides in safe to third base with a triple. So JT Realmuto spoils the save for the Giants in the ninth inning, and Leury Garcia 0 for 3 in this point comes in, hits one up the middle, and that one's going to be past the diving glove of the shortstop, and that's going to be a 2-1 lead here in the top of the ninth inning. So we take the lead here, and here comes that man Aquino, who's been hot up to this point, hitting a hard ground ball, but that one is going to be easy work for the Giants defense, and that's going to be a double play. But we do have Steckenrider coming out of the bullpen, does get 3 guys out in a row, 1, 2, 3, and comes in for another save. So Steckenrider 2 saves here in the action. I mean, this is pretty good. I mean, we're stringing together a few wins, getting a few victories here, and the top of our lineup is really coming through for us. So now we're on to the Colorado series. John Gray in the pitch in this one. And to start out the game, here is Starlin Castro hitting one to opposite field this time. And the top of our lineup is just producing, has been producing for the last couple of weeks. And Starlin Castro starts this game out pretty well with a hit to right field. And here's a pass ball. He's going to advance to third base. So now Aquino has a chance to get an easy run in. All he's got to do is make contact, and he does just that. Hits a little dribbler to the third baseman. He's going to be out at first, but not before a run comes across the plate. So now Domingo Santana comes up to bat. 2-2 count, gets a hanger, and he gets a hit to the left side. And the top of our lineup is just wreaking havoc for opposing pitchers here. So we have another runner on in the top of the first inning, and Justin Bour's been hot, hitting over 300. Both he and Domingo Santana both hitting over 300, and he hits a line shot to the right center gap. Domingo Santana is on his horse, rounding third, heading home, and the second baseman is not even going to attempt to throw, and Justin Bour is going to drive in another run. So here's JT Realmuto in the hit in the 5-hole, and he gets a hit to the right side. So now we got guys on the corners. One out with the red-hot Martine Prado coming up. Look at those splits, hitting 344 in June, hitting over 300 in May, 3-2 count, and he hits one to right field, and that one's going to drop in for another hit. So 3 runs here in John Gray's start here at home, and that's 3 early runs in Bryant Anderson. Hopefully he can get going. He's only hitting .218, 5 for 31 in his last 31 at-bats. And here he is grounding out to the second baseman, but it's going to be a fielder's choice at second base. So we got 2 outs. Leury Garcia is going to come up to bat, and he's going to hit another dribbler. And this time the Rockies are going to get out of this inning, but not before 3 runs are surrendered. And Jarlin Garcia is going to get another start. You know, his wins haven't been there. He has been pretty good with his strikeout to walk ratio, but we do want to get that whip and that ERA down. Hopefully we can pull out a victory in this one. But here in the bottom of the second inning, a diving Santana's going to miss the ball, but Aquino is going to almost throw out Ian Desmond at second. But here is Joey Gallo, and remember, the Rockies made that weird trade with Joey Gallo and Trevor Story, and they're not even playing Trevor Rogers at shortstop this game. He has the day off. So here's Jarlin Garcia getting into a little bit of trouble, this time giving up a hit to the right side. So now they got bases loaded in the bottom of the second with no outs. And here is John Gray, the pitcher, coming up to bat, but that's going to be an easy double play, but a run is going to come in to score. But at least we got 2 outs out of that one. And here is LeMahieu coming up with a hit to left field, and that one's going to be caught by Leury Garcia. So at least we get out of there with bases loaded, no outs, with only 1 run surrendered. And here is Aquino here in the top of the 4th inning, getting going with the hit down the right field line. And he's got 80 speed, so I'm trying for this triple. And Aquino is going to slide in safe. And he's going to start on third base with a triple here. So with 2 outs, Domingo Santana, who's been hot, hitting over 310 on the season. Look at a line shot back at the pitcher. But look at this. It doesn't even hit the ground. And the catcher comes up and fields it. Take another look at this. A weird play. You never see this. Bounces off his shoulder, and that's why he got up and walked away like nothing happened. He should be injured on that when it hit his shoulder. He should not be in the game, but the Colorado Rockies luck out, and they keep a run alive. But look at Domingo Santana. The game just cheated me right there. I ran straight to the ball, and he doesn't pick up the ball. So Domingo Santana on that one, they're going to rule that one a triple. So Charlie Blackmon's going to come into play, come at bat. After that, bonehead computer cheese on that one. And look at this. He's going to drive in the run down the left field line, and it's going to be a 3-2 lead only. And if it wasn't for that bonehead play, the liner off of the pitcher, we would probably have a 4-1 lead at this point, but at least we get Tony Zych to come in relief and get us out of that inning. So now on to the top of the 6th inning. Bryant Anderson trying to get his bat going, and here he is lining out to LeMahieu at second base, so he just cannot get going in this season. And here's Leury Garcia picking him up, though, coming in with 1 out, 1-2 count, going oppo on that one. So here comes Derrick Dietrich, who, you know what, he's been actually pretty good off the bench, and here he is hitting one hard up the middle, and that one's gonna be through the infield for a hit. So now we got guys on first and second, and here comes Starlin Castro, who had that double to start out the game off the wall, but this one is gonna be popped up to the first baseman. So now 2 outs with Aquino coming up to the plate, 2 for 3, a triple and a single up to this point. And with the 3-1 count, he's going to hit one hard up the middle, but LeMahieu was going to be there just in time for that ground ball, and they're going to get out of the inning. No harm done. So Jumbo Diaz, I have him coming into relief in a close game, and the one thing about him, he is a flamethrower, but he does have control issues. So he walks the first batter, and he gets to Chris Iannetta, and on a 2-2 count, it's going to get Iannetta to pop out to Domingo Santana. So at least we have 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, but that's going to bring up Ian Desmond, who's been pretty good up to this point in the season. And facing Jumbo Diaz, he's going to draw a walk. So now guys on first and second, and the newly acquired Joey Gallo comes up to the plate, and he's going to blast one over the right field fence, and that's going to not come back. Man, what a devastating home run. A series of events has just led up to this ultimatum. And look at that. He just absolutely grooves that one over the right field wall. But we do get Carlos Gonzalez to strike out. But they bring in Wade Davis, the 3-time All-Star, in to close this game. So I bring in Johnny Giavitello to hit for our pitcher off of the bench, and facing a 1-2 count, he does line out to LeMahieu at second base. So now facing 1 out, Starlin Castro up to the plate, but he's going to swing at 1 in the dirt. So now it's going to be 2 outs here in the 9th inning with Aquino coming up and facing a 3-2 count, having some off-speed problems hitting the ball, and he gets a knuckle curve and he misses on that one. So the Rockies are gonna win this game, and they actually end up winning the series, a 3-game series. They end up taking 2 out of 3, and Joey Gallo comes through with the clutch home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Miami does get 10 hits in the game, but after that first inning did not score a run. So kind of alarming. because the bottom of our lineup just isn't producing the way that we want them to. We might have to make some changes because we're actually competing. In these games, we're competing. We're not getting messed up. Our bullpen isn't up to par, but we're not at least getting blown out with these 8-2 losses, 9-2, things like that. They're usually close games, so we might have to just make a couple of tweaks. But I do like what I see from the top of our lineup. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, because we're going into the thick of the season, close to All-Star break. So you don't want to miss any action. Stay tuned. Let's go.